European humanity is waiting for a full-scale famine by 2024. The catastrophe will affect not only backward countries, but also quite prosperous states. Moreover, it's not just that somewhere fertile arable land will turn into a lifeless tundra, and somewhere the previously abundant shoots will be burned out by an unusually scorching sun. Mass extinction from starvation will be brought closer by the same global shortage of energy, says Shushkevich. Food grain will have to be spent on it, too. The utility of energy, which can be obtained from a hectare of arable land through biofuels, has already become higher for consumers in developed countries than the utility of food. The coming ice age may lead to the fact that even in food-deficient countries grain will be processed into more expensive energy for export, and not into bread for the starving population. In short, Shushkevich's conclusion is as follows. The global energy and food crises will worsen to the extreme by 2030. If by this time humanity does not have fundamentally new energy sources in the form of controlled thermonuclear fusion or hydrogen biophotolysis, then in order to maintain the minimum acceptable per capita energy supply in developed countries at the level of 18 to 20 gigacalories per year, more than half of the world's crop production will have to be processed into biofuels. And this, in turn, means that the remaining food will be enough for only 3 to 4 billion inhabitants of the Earth. In a short period, large-scale depopulation will not be able to occur naturally, and it will inevitably be based on mass famine and wars. Climate change. Western experts also echo the scientist. Mankind is threatened with mass extinction. Last August, a theoretical physicist from the National Laboratory in Frascati, Dr. Zangazi, detonated a real information bomb. According to his data, based on satellite images, the giant ocean current of the Gulf Stream, which largely determines the climate in Europe and North America, has practically disappeared. According to the scientist, this was one of the consequences of the oil spill after last year's famous disaster in the Gulf of Mexico. But first, 2 words about the Gulf Stream itself. This warm ocean river began in the Gulf of Mexico, skirted Florida and flowed along the east coast of the United States. Then, expanding and slowing down, it headed to the northeast of the Atlantic Ocean to the Norwegian Sea. In April 2010, an explosion in the Gulf of Mexico resulted in the largest oil leak in world history on the Deepwater Horizon platform of the British oil company BP. Until August, when the well was finally silenced, a powerful jet of black gold was gushing from the ocean floor around the clock. To combat oil stains on the water surface, Corexit family dispersants were widely used. Yes, they helped create the appearance of well-being in the area of the explosion. However, even today everything there looks desperately bad. Oil in huge quantities covered the bottom of the Gulf. So, in the water column, for example, a spot with a length of 16 kilometers and a thickness of 90 meters was found. There are many smaller ones. According to Zangazi, a huge amount of oil, constantly expanding in volume, covers such huge areas that it has a serious impact on the entire thermoregulation system of the planet by destroying the boundary layers of the warm water flow. Satellite data clearly show that there is currently no North Atlantic current, and the Gulf Stream is beginning to break into pieces, approximately 250 kilometers from the coast of North Carolina. The thermohaline vascular system, where warm waters flow through cooler ones, has a much greater effect, not only on the ocean, but also on the upper layers of the atmosphere, up to 7 miles high. The absence of this usual phenomenon in the eastern part of the North Atlantic disrupted the normal course of atmospheric flows this summer, resulting in unheard of high temperatures, droughts and floods in Central Europe, with high temperatures in many Asian countries and massive floods in China, Pakistan and other Asian countries. The death of the Gulf Stream. If Zangazi is right, then the whole world will feel the extraordinary consequences of the death of the Gulf Stream in the coming years. It is hardly by chance that the Canadian Parliament, in an emergency mode, created a commission to clarify the real situation near the territory of Canada. The commission was headed by Ronald Rabbit, a well-known ocean scientist in North America. The Canadians made 2 conclusions. First, the assumptions of Dr. Gianluigi Zangari were fully confirmed. No movement of water in the area of the former Gulf Stream was detected. Second, 800 miles east of the former Gulf Stream zone, another powerful current has formed. It turns out that the Gulf Stream has not completely stopped, but it is possible that it has changed its trajectory. However, even so, global climate change may not be avoided. What can they be? In the West, it has long been assumed that if the Gulf Stream disappeared forever, the average annual temperature, say, in Europe, it would gradually fall by 9 degrees within a few years, which would practically turn prosperous France or Spain into a kind of Yakutia. But even if the Gulf Stream did not completely disappear into the ocean, as the Canadians claim, but simply changed direction and stopped finishing off to northern Europe, does it change much? Many are sure that the situation has already begun to unfold according to a very alarming scenario. The symptoms are here. Last winter, Germany maintained a stable snow cover with a thickness of about 10 centimeters, which has not been for many decades. Moreover, there were unusual frosts for these places, reaching -25 degrees Celsius at night. The Germans did not see any thaws typical for the beginning of winter last year. In December 2022, the strongest frosts in the last 100 years will cover the UK. London airports will be closed due to unprecedented frosts. We hope that such a scenario of the end of the world is still wrong and the humanity of the future will only laugh at the forecasts of modern scientists.